Hello.
Oh, it's been a while, Dan. You've been
Keeping busy. uh, we're here today doing some more Unreal stuff. Going to talk about some virtual production stuff and other stuff. It's all Unreal. It's going to be great.
lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff. So I guess we'll just kick off with a quick backstory, and then on Chris, I'll let you just run with it. We recently met with a company called Golden Hour and looking into virtual production work and trying to just do some exploration and figure out how all of this MoGraph work, 3D animation, design, all this stuff works in with virtual production, and then just seeing like where are the gaps and how do you kind of start with making a project that would work on that and then take it to production. Like how do we get from here to there? So I've got a question for you out this because I feel like there's probably a lot of people that would be thinking similar to you. So you have a background in video production and you work at a company that has video production as part of its internal marketing. And then they also have 3D motion as well. And I know virtual production's kind of where VFX and all this stuff, it's kind of coming together. But if there's anybody else like working at a company in your position saying like, hey, you know, my company's thinking about virtual production or I'm thinking about virtual production, and I know it's like a big step to get into it, I guess, what would you say the benefits are and why would your company be interested in actually pursuing this as opposed to just doing it the old school way or the normal way?
Yeah, I mean, and I had a list I was just about to jump into as far as some of the considerations. So this perfect question, Dan. We feel like we're unified as one right now. Weird. So I would say, based on what I've learned and the things that we're talking about at work and pitching to our leaders, is like location restrictions. So going to film, you might have sound issues or things to consider. If there's a refrigerator next door or it's near a busy road and you got dumb Harleys, no offense Harleys, I like Harleys, driving by there loud, or electrical issues or limitations, security, or permissions, getting into locations, space limitations, and the room's small or echoey or different things, or if you're outside, outdoor elements like wind, the weather, precipitation, cloud cover, or intermittent clouds, that's always a nightmare. Or even if you're filming at golden hour, magic hour, whatever you call it, it's a very tight window. In fact, the name of the place we went to in Grand Rapids, Golden Hour, because they're like, yeah, we can make an 8-hour golden hour. Like, oh yeah, that's awesome. And not have wind, capture in-camera sound. Company moves, they talk about a lot. Like, that's actually expensive. Like moving, you go to a location and you oftentimes at work, they're talking like, we're renting like 2 or 3 houses and we're trying to make each house look like 5. Let's film in this room at this angle, and then let's go to the dining room and try to get this angle and maybe this angle, and then let's go up. They're trying to make a lot out of the little that they have. And obviously packing up and moving, resetting all the production. And then you start talking about the VFX world, which I've always ran away from, with green screens and things like that. And there is control even in that with the virtual production, and you can like limit, like only have the green like right here behind me, that where I need to key out, versus the whole wall. So like spill, translucency or transparency of objects, and reflections, like classic Mandalorian. The whole suit was reflective, so not having to fix all the reflections that are green out in post. So a lot of those things come up often as far as like why virtual production.
The one thing that stuck out to me that I didn't even think about was like locations you can't go to. Like the amount of places you'd want to film in an airport, can't go. Like the Vatican, can't go.
Yeah.
Just so many places you may want to film that you just don't have access to. So it's pretty cool.
Yep. So we've been talking for a long time about what we could do, and like, yeah, I'm like, we could build these scenes. And at some point I was like, I just need to build a scene to show kind of what I did, and potentially how quick it could be, depending on how customized you get with something or, whatnot. So this is the asset I bought, this home here.
This looks like a good starting point for a Zillow ad.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just found a bunch of packs, and my content browser here, I got a black alder. I don't know if that's how you say it. Tree pack. It's got a whole bunch of stuff. This was free. It's a Megascans asset, whatever, on the Epic Games Marketplace, Unreal Marketplace. Which one is it, Dan? Unreal Marketplace.
Unreal Marketplace.
Okay, sorry.
The other one sells games.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I got this modular neighborhood, which had like a whole bunch of other trees that weren't as nice, like this fence, what's this? This is called a trash can, and some other random things. It actually had, I'll just scroll a little, they had this little road thing in the driveway. And then Megascans. I got some stuff from the Megascans library, Quixel. So right in here, if you don't know already, Quixel Bridge, click on that, and then it brings up just everything available. And again, they have lots of plants and surfaces. They don't have any trees on here, although they have trees in the Unreal Marketplace, which I'm like, we both don't know why they're not in here, but you're just like, this plant, I like these. And it's as easy as internet speeds. So click download, the quality. Oh, I didn't really want to do that, but you pick the quality, hit download, it saves it to your local thing. You hit add, boom. And then it, as long as this is open, it pushes it right in here. So that's what it did with some of these different things. I had some of these flowers and whatnot. Well, just a real quick look at the scene. Like there's not a lot here. Like it's just this house, which was part of one of the packs, which kind of looks like trash in my opinion. Doesn't really blend in. It brings down the value of my house. Looks a little bit more of a manufactured home. No offense to manufactured homes. But then there's a bunch of these trees I just scattered, which was in the line of view that I had planned on being in. We had looked at like these bushes, and now they're waving a little bit. But when I brought them in, I mean, even for instance, these plants right here, they're not really moving, I don't think. So you had showed me earlier, I don't remember. Find the material, yeah. Double click on it, bring it up.
Especially with the Megascans, should just be a checkbox down at the bottom. Wind.
So now the Megascans plants are waving in the water as well now. So
I know like the wind doesn't look, a lot of these things you get up close to and it's like, it's not amazing, but if you're not doing like macro shots and stuff, I know we'd see it like on the stage. You'd look at it and it's like, I don't know. But then once you looked at the monitor and once they went through like the color calibration and all this stuff through the camera, I'm like, it actually looks really good.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like you could nitpick everything for being perfect or not, but most of the stuff I thought was very passable.
Other thing I ran into was like, as I continued to add assets in here, I would start to lose resolution on these textures. And so I'm pretty sure that was that would be like upping the texture streaming pool.
Yeah, the texture streaming pool.
Is there a command?
R.stream. Start typing that in. And this is how I override it in the editor.
Oh yeah, okay, there we go. And
there you go. And then I think that's in megabytes. So, you know, I cranked mine like 5,000, like 5 gigs or something. And there you go.
Okay, so that would have fixed. I did notice that like if I closed Unreal and I opened it back again, then things would be good.
Yeah, my guess is you have to go into like the project settings and override that, because I think the command line that you just did, it works for the time being, but I think if you exit out, it will reset.
Okay. I did do a landscape, and I'll just touch on that real quick, for the ground, because I wanted to just create some variety here, like you see along the sidewalk of the ground, so it's not just like flat on there. And then we did the foliage, we were experimenting with that. So if I go over to my Megascans and then grass clumps, oh, they're small. Oh wait, that's okay, that's 0.5. Let's go on to 0.1 to 0.3.
There you go.
Oh, they're in there.
Cranky density.
They're in there. I'm gonna actually delete all the foliage. Well, yeah, so then from there, we basically took this scene. I dumped the folder onto a drive and we drove out to Golden Hour. Like, got to meet the people over there, Andrew and Jared specifically on stage. They were very helpful and very friendly, super nice. knowledgeable. So yeah, we loaded up the scene and it actually worked. It took a few minutes because it had to drag onto all of their nodes, their different computers that run the different parts of the wall. They added their custom lighting system. They added their end display setup so that when you move around this Unreal scene that I made, it projects correctly onto their wall and their camera is tracked and all the settings are set up. And then, yeah, we talked through the scene with the guys, did a lot of learning about the technology, the hardware, all that, and the software, but also talked through like the specifics of setting up this scene and considerations. And like, well, currently this house, I didn't build it, I bought it, but all the walls are one mesh. And so like, it's better probably to build them as individual meshes. Like for instance, this, like if we're pushed in here and we're like, oh, we need some more space. We're backing up. Oh shoot, we're actually outside. You know, it's funny because you're in the space and you back up and you're like, what happened? And you're like, oh yeah, we're moving in our Unreal scene. Now we're looking at the siding. So like being able to like turn this wall off or move it would be advantageous to virtual production.
Well, and even if you turn off the wall, I mean, I think you can make it so that the camera does not see it, but it doesn't change your lighting. Like if you turn it off, the outside lighting's not going to start spilling in and change everything. But yeah, you can still move through it without, you know, like if your back hit it or whatever, like you can
right
through it.
We talked about the post-process volume settings or just the general scene settings and some different things like the things you set up with obviously ray tracing, and all this is ran on Lumen, and then dealing with some of the flickering that happens and from refraction or just indirect lighting and how they overcome some of those things.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great experience to see. I feel like I've been diving into Unreal for years at this point, and always something to learn. There's still a ton to go, and even the guys we met, like, it's a bottomless, but it was great to see from a virtual production standpoint. There's just so much more and so many opportunities, which is really exciting. Yeah, hopefully this is helpful. We got a lot out of it, tried to share this information as we get it, and just, you know, keep trying to learn more of what we can do with this, what the possibilities are, just how all these worlds are merging together slowly or quickly. There's just a lot of stuff happening, so it's been great. So appreciate your time. If you have questions, ask away, and we'll see what we can answer. Bye, Chris.
Bye, Dan.